Hi everyone, my name is Caden.
My name is Eli.
My name is Jaden, and we are Yahoo in the Torah, and this is Youth for Yah.
And this is going to be the offline version. We did try online, but the internet is extremely choppy today. It is very rough. We don't have the best internet, so I'm not going to do a big intro like we did before, but this is the 14th. This is the 14th chapter of Proverbs. If you have found this page, if this is something you found that randomly found, this is something from Yah, and Yah is God. It is Yod He, Vod He, and that is who he came to Moses with when he said, I am that I am, and that turns back to Yod He, Vod He. So that is his name, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahweh. There's a few ways people pronounce it. We don't know the correct one, but it's closer than anything to God, because God is actually a pagan surtitle. So we're going to be referring to this as Yah. We are going to be reading out of the Sefer, the NIV, and the Yah Scriptures, so we can all get a different kind of view on each chapter, each thing here, so we have a more understanding of the Bible, because some things aren't always clear. Some things get lost in translation. So,
yeah, and if you guys want to chat this, just put down on the live. We're going to premiere this, so it's live, and we'll respond to you guys in the comment section below. So just if you guys have questions or you just want to say hi, just comment down below. All right, so we are going to start in chapter 14.
All right.
Let's give it a second.
All right, there it is.
Proverbs 14, verse 1. Every wise woman builds her house, but the foolish plucks it down with her hands.
All right. What does that mean that every wise woman has built her house? And people may think it is peculiar, like maybe she built her house.
Maybe she wants to build her house.
Maybe she built a house out of bricks. Maybe she took the cement and laid it out. But this is actually referring to someone that builds up their house, someone that is supporting their house. And that was what Yahuwah had told was supposed to be for man and woman. Man was supposed to be in the field, and women were supposed to take care of the house, were supposed to take care of the children, while the men worked and provided the food. That was how Yahuwah designated it. He built men to be field workers. He built men to run the garden. He says that is your job. That was our original job in the garden, was to tend over the field, and we should be going out, and we should be going out into the field. We should be going out working under the sun, and we should be providing for our families. That is what us as men are supposed to do, and women are supposed to take care of the house. They are supposed to raise the children. They're supposed to basically run the house. They're supposed to build up the house in a Yah manner, in a manner that Yah would appreciate in the Torah, and that is what was supposed to be done. That was how the biblical relationship between man and woman was supposed to go.
Right, and when you're talking about building the house, you're talking about not arguing, because a lot of people argue and it breaks down your house. It makes your house worse. It weakens your house. It's just not the same when you're fighting. Building up your house is making sure the house is happy, making sure the house is content, making sure the house has what it needs to live. And that is building up your house. You just taking care of your spouse. And if you're children or family members or something, and you are constantly fighting, like children, if you have brothers or sisters, and you are fighting with them, you are breaking down your house by arguing, fighting. Whatever you're doing in fighting will break your house. And that's something that we struggle with as brothers. All three of us, we can all admit to it. We argue a lot. It's just something. Probably one of our biggest sins we have is arguing. And for some reason, we argue and we know it's wrong, but we still do it, right? And for some reason, we just argue and it breaks down the house. It doesn't make your house better, it makes it worse. And so if you are arguing and breaking down your house, you make it worse. But you want to be making your house better. The woman was supposed to be at the house, and the men were supposed to be out in the sun. They were supposed to be out working, they were supposed to be tilling the land and bringing in food. And the spouses were supposed to be supporting each other.
Yeah, women were supposed to be more taken care of. They were not supposed to be pushed as hard as men can push themselves when working, because women are supposed to handle the baby. They're supposed to deliver the baby, so they were meant to be taken care of as almost I don't want to say like a royalty, but more taken care of than men are, because men are Yahuwah built men especially to work the fields.
We can take a lot of damage and keep moving, and so can women. But we are meant to take it, and we're supposed to be able to take the damage in the field. Our hands are supposed to blister. We're supposed to be able to sweat a lot and just work hard.
Verse 2. He that walks in his uprightness fears Yahuwah, but he that is perverse in his ways despises him.
What does that mean, uprightness? What does it mean when someone walks uprightness? They are with Yahuwah.
And uprightness is like righteous, walking in the path of the straight and narrow path. We hear a lot Yehoshua's the straight and narrow path, but the straight and narrow path is walking on the Torah, following the Torah, and staying on it. You righteousness. You want to be holy. You want to be perfect before Yahuwah, and be following His laws. So when you walk in uprightness, when you follow His Torah, you fear Yahuwah. And you fear Him because you know He can condemn your soul, but you fear Him out of a respect because He is like your Father. And when you are a child, when your Father is to discipline you, you fear them, right? You have respect for them. You do what they say because you fear if you disobey them, bad things could happen. And that's the same thing with Yahuwah. When we disobey or break his laws, we should have a fear that we will be disciplined, because that is what will happen when we break his laws. And when we break his laws, we deserve to be punished. Is what happens with a child. When a child disobeys or does something wrong, when they do something their parents say not to do, or they don't do what they're commanded to do, they will be punished. That's something that we must learn, to follow his Torah. If not, we will be punished, because he says he will curse people, right? He cursed people for not following the Shabbat, the people in the Bible. He said he will leave your land desolate and he will kick everyone out of the land, and he will leave land desolate and let the land rest if you do not give the land rest.
All right.
Verse 3. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall guard them.
Yeah, there's a lot of reference to people that can't keep their mouth shut, right? There are a lot of people that cannot close their mouths in the Bible, and especially here in Proverbs, Yah Shaloma, talks about people that open their mouth for wickedness, that open it, and there's a lot of people that you're going to run into in life. There's a lot of people that you've possibly already run into in life that when they open their mouth, it's going to be evil. You don't want to hear it. It's going to be like a whip. And we were reading the translation. It was like a whip. It was like a stick, a switch, like that whips across. When you hear their speak it, it's going to be something that brings you evil, that gives you evil thoughts, because this person speaks evil. They open their mouth to speak evil. And that's what Shlomo wants to stay away from. He talks about it so much. We have to stay away from it. And someone that closes their mouth, someone that is quiet, someone that is able to hold their peace in the right moment, is considered wise. That is a wise person. That is a way of wisdom, is to close your mouth.
Right? The prideful person, the one who is a fool, will always speak no matter what it is. He will say something evil. He always have to say the last word, and he'll never let it go. But a wise one will know when to stop talking, when he does not need to talk, and when he needs to talk. He will know arguing is not the way. He will know that there's no point in arguing because it's not going to go anywhere, so he'll just stop and walk away.
Verse 4. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increases by the strength of the ox.
Okay, now this verse might seem weird. You're like, well, there's no oxen, so the crib is clean. That's good. The stable, the corral, the shelter is clean. But that's not it. Because back in the day, most people had animals. A lot of people had animals, because everyone was sacrificing, and so everyone had something. You could get some kind of animal. Because you could get sheep, you could, there were so many sacrifices. If you were poor, you would sacrifice turtle doves, but I'm pretty sure most people had a chance to get an oxen. And most people had land back in the day as well. Most people don't have land these days where they can just go and till a land and go bring up crops. So it's better. So he's saying here, it's better to have an oxen and clean out his shelter than it is not to have anything. Because when you clean out the shelter, that means you'll have your oxen working for you. Your oxen will be pulling that plow and getting it ready to plant, and your oxen will help you bring food to your table. So when you work hard and you have that oxen, you will be good. So you want to be working hard. You want to bring food to your table. You want to be cleaning the house of the ox.
A way to sum it up is, it is better to clean up the oxen's place. It's better to clean it up and be happy about it than to have nothing, have no food, and be sad.
Verse 5. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies.
So that's pretty self-explanatory there. But someone who says the right things, who is faithful, and is a trustworthy witness. Someone who is faithful usually would be someone in the Torah. Someone that doesn't lie, because Yahuwah hates lies, and Solomon talks so much about lying in this. And if you are a faithful witness, you will not lie, because it is a sin against Yahuwah. It is breaking his Torah. But someone who is on the Torah will sin. And when you're a witness, you must say the truth. If you saw something happen and you are called upon to answer what it is, you must say the truth, because if you lie, many more bad things could happen if you lie. And when you start lying, you get into a habit of lying, and that is something you don't want to do. You want to stay away, far away as you can from lies.
Verse 6. A scorner seeks wisdom and finds it not, but knowledge is easy unto him that understands.
So, a few verses up, we have the thing about pride, how people that open their mouth for wickedness, that open their mouth to speak evil. And here it says, if a scoffer that seeks wisdom is not able to, it's because he has a chip on his shoulder and he refuses to humble himself. Even if he's trying to get smarter, you have to humble yourself. You have to be more lowly like. You have to be more meek to understand, to have Torah, to learn, so that you do not think you have everything and the rest of the world has nothing. Because that is a terrible mindset. Yahuwah will humble those, like he said, like Yahusha said. When you don't go up to the high seats. When you go into somewhere, go into the low seats so that someone can bring you up into the high seats, and you will be exalted. If you are a person of pride that sits in the best seats when there's other people more important coming in, then you're going to be brought down. You're going to be embarrassed in front of the people. And if you are a scoffer, you will never learn wisdom. He will humble those who will not learn wisdom. But those who are humble are going to be exalted, are going to swiftly understand, are swiftly going to have wisdom.
Right? When someone's trying to teach you the Torah or trying to teach you a life lesson, anything, it could be an adult, a parent, some relative, or even a teacher, and they're trying to give you life
life lessons. That's what it is meant for, is not to that you push back, that you think you know what you did wrong, that they can explain it to you, because by instructions you are going to get better in life and in everything in general. Instructions are what help us live through our lives. It's what we're told. It's what parents were told to do, is to instruct their child on the way that they should go, so that when they get older, they do not depart from it. They do not walk off that path, because everybody that loves someone wants to see them be successful in their walk with Yahuwah. They want to see them on the next life in the kingdom, and they want to be able to see that person, give them a hug and say, hey, you made it, congratulations, and have a good time with their friend in the next world. And they don't want to see them burning in the pits of hell. They don't want to see them in the weeping and gnashing of teeth, where it's like so hot that you're asking for a drip of water off Abraham's finger. And that's why there's instructions. That's why there's someone always there teaching you. That's why if you have a parent, you need to listen to their instructions. They are trying to help you the best they can. They know what's best. They've been through it. They've been through the experiences. They know.
Verse 7. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when you perceive not in him the lips of knowledge.
So if you hear someone that is speaking evil, someone that is speaking, how do I say, stupidity, someone that just says leave, do not deal with that. Do not put yourself in that position where you have to listen to that.
It's kind of like someone who's saying wickedness, someone who's saying something against the Torah, and they are saying evil things, or there's arguing or something that doesn't make sense. It's like they're saying stuff that it just isn't right. It's foolish. You got to walk away. Do not go, because you will want to learn from the person that has knowledge on their lips, the person that speaks knowledge. You will want to be with that person because you want to learn. You do not want to learn from someone who is a fool, because a fool will not have the Torah. A fool does not want to listen or learn, and they will speak evilness, and it's just wrong. You need to walk away from it.
And Shalom was a parent of a lot of kids, so he knows that there's going to be a lot of people in their lives that are going to try to get them strapped by words people say. And he says, if you understand that these people are not speaking good, that they are speaking folly, that they are speaking things that are wrong, that you need to leave immediately. Do not inject yourself into that world of that person.
Alright, verse 8. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit.
So I don't know if it's his way is capitalized in your Bible here, but in the Yah Scriptures here it says his way. The wisdom of the clever is to understand his way. What is his way?
His way is Yahuwah's way. It's what he commands us to do. He commanded us to follow his Torah. He commanded us to be set apart people. He commanded us to be holy and worship him only. He commanded us to believe on his Son, believe his Son as repentance. That's what we have been commanded to do.
His way is the Torah. He says, and when Yahushua said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, if we look at John 1:1, it says, and the Word became flesh. And that is the way. He says he's the way, the truth, and the life. And the Torah was called truth. The Torah was called life. So Yahushua was made flesh. He is the Torah made flesh. And that is his way. His way is the Torah.
Verse 9. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the Asharim there is favor. Yasharim, it means upright.
Right. Okay, so it says, in mind, fools scoff at guilt, but among the straight there is delight. And there were some other translations we were reading that it says that the righteous have acceptance, and fools scoff at guilt. Fools will break people down from when they sin, and when people sin, you need to show them the errors of their ways and build them up in the Torah. You don't need to destroy them and put them down. You need to understand that these people probably made these mistakes out of arrogance, out of unknowingly mistakes, and you have to accept them, and you have to be able to teach them. That's what it says. The upright will have delight. They will be willing to teach these people. They will not judge these people. They will not hate on these people for making the mistakes, right? They are going to continue on teaching these people.
Verse 10. The heart knows his own bitterness, and a stranger is not intermeddle with his joy. The NIV says, each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one else can share its joy.
So everybody has their own bitterness, and you each know your own bitterness. Everyone knows what's going on, why they're sad, what kind of emotions are going on. But you can't share that exact same joy. You might feel something inside, but it may not feel the same with other people. You can't share that with other people. But you can share the word of Yahuwah, and they can find that kind of joy. In the bitterness when they're feeling down, you can teach them Yahuwah. You can teach them about the Torah, and you can teach them stuff, and maybe give them a kind of joy that they can feel, because you have a joy in Yahuwah, and maybe you can teach them that kind of joy.
Verse 11. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the Yasharim shall flourish.
All right. It seems that the world is very wicked right now. There's a lot of wickedness. There are a lot of people in charge that are wicked. There's a lot of evil going on in this
There's
world.
a lot of wicked houses.
But Yahuwah says he is going to break the wickedness down, and the people that are upright, the people that are straight in the narrow path, are going to flourish. Their houses are going to build. Their houses are going to be built up. And that is Yahuwah's promise to us. If you are in the Torah, if you are living the life of the righteous, and the life of the righteous is walking in the Torah, there's no other explanation to who is righteous other than the way of the Torah, and that is to try and walk in it to the best you can, to do everything you can to walk in it. So that's what it means to be a straight person. And when we are in that Torah, when we are on that walk, Yahuwah is going to bless us. He's going to let us be flourishing. Let our houses be flourished.
Well, our houses aren't going to fall down, they're not going to break, but the house of the wicked will fall down. Yashrael it may not be a physical house, but the house of Yashrael was its own little country, its own little nation. And they got destroyed, they got sent to captivity multiple times. They got separated. Yehuda and Benjamin got separated, and the other 10 tribes got separated as well. And they were broken down because they sinned. They were not upright. They were wicked. And so their houses were destroyed, and they were sent out from the land. So if you are wicked, you can take an example of the Israelites, that they got kicked out of the camp because they got kicked out of their houses. Their houses were broken down because of their wickedness. So if you guys are breaking Yahuwah's Torah and committing sin, then your house will be broke down.
Verse 12. There is a way which seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
All right. There are a lot of people, including ourselves, which we will do things that are not what Yahuwah would want, right? We do our own things to our understanding. We think it is for good, but it will end up bad. It will end up because it was not according to Yah's guidance. It was not according to Yah's plan. And if we do it, it's going to end up in the way of death. There's always something that looks right in your eyes, but if it's not right with the Torah, if it's not according to what Yahuwah's will is, then it's wrong and it's going to end up in death. That good thing will turn into something bad. And that's a good way of saying that Christmas, it may seem right in your eyes, but it is pagan. Christmas is a big deal for a lot of people, but it's a very satanic day. There are same with all the rest of the traditional holidays people celebrate. Easter, Christmas. I believe Thanksgiving was also a crazy one.
Is Halloween classified?
Halloween is
especially Halloween.
Halloween, yeah.
That's the day of devils.
Everyone knows everyone calls it the day of devils. Even Christians themselves, yet they celebrate it. People think that is right in their eyes, but it leads to death, and that's, even though Yahuwah knows your heart, it's still going to end up in death. It does not matter your intentions. It matters what is on the will of Yahuwah, and that's something we should be aiming for, is the will of Yahuwah.
Alright, verse 13. Even in laughter the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. The NIV says, even in laughter the heart may ache, and rejoicing may end in grief.
So even if you're happy, your heart may ache, right? It may still be sad.
There are people that can hide their pain with laughter. People that can hide it. There's always someone out there. And Solomon knows that. He's not just saying these things because he's like, well, your heart, people might hurt. He's like, it will happen in life. And he's just trying to prepare you in life that there will be days that aren't the best, that you will have to just smile and say everything's okay. There will be days that happen. But Yahuwah knows your problems. Yahuwah is looking out for you. He is watching over you. His love is abiding upon you.
Right, and if you are having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, a bad year, whatever it is, you must remember that you woke up this morning. You might have had sleep. You might have had shelter. You might have had something more than because remember, there are people in worse conditions than you. People do not have what you have. That did not sleep. That maybe did not eat. Did not have shelter. And so you must remember that you have, even though you're sadness, you have something that somebody else doesn't, and Yahuwah is still providing for you every single day. You might not have the top of the line newest shoes, or top of the line newest clothes, or newest thing there, or the best of that, but you still have something, and most of all, you have Yahuwah, and you know His Torah.
Verse 14. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The NIV says, The faithless will be fully repaid for their ways, and the good rewarded for theirs.
So, we've said this before, but at the end of the day, Yahuwah always makes sure the balances and scales are right. He always rewards those who are good and repays those who are evil with the evil. He always makes sure everything is justified by the end of the day. And that's the best way to say that. Those who are wicked, those who are evil, are going to be rewarded with what they deserve. Everyone will be repaid back to according to what they've done.
When Judgment Day comes, Yahushua is talking about what happens to those. He says, the goats will be cast out into the fire, and the lambs will be accepted in. And if you are a goat, a wicked goat, you will be cast out. You will not be accepted into his kingdom. And you must remember that you were taught the Torah, and if you were wicked and breaking his Torah, then you will be repaid with what you did.
Verse 15. The simple believes every word, but the prudent man looks well to his going.
So that's a lot. That could be a lot of children. You know, children. You believe everything, right? Your child, you will believe what you're told. Even some older people will believe everything they are told. And but a prudent man looks and examines and learns something and examines to see if it is real or not.
And I can't say too much, but the news, don't always watch the news. You have to really discern what is really there and what is really not. You have to really discern that. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, everything around you, you must discern this world. See, look at what is real. Look at what is not. You do not believe everything you are told because everything is not always true. You must use wisdom to understand what is true. And when someone tells you the Torah is not there, we are not on the cross, you must remember that is not true. You must examine and say that's not true because Yahuwah said this. And if you are simple, you will believe it.
A wise man fears and departs from evil, but the fool rages and is confident.
All right. The people that are wise, and wise was a righteous thing back then. If you were considered wise, you were righteous. So a righteous person is going to see evil. They're going to fear. They're going to say, no, this will get me cursed. This will ruin my soul. And they're going to flee from it. They are going to run from that moment of evil. But those who are foolish, those who are sinful, are going to continue on in that. And that's what Shalom is doing. He's trying to prepare us for life here. This was the preparation guide for life is what he wrote out for us. He knew one day there's going to be millions of people, billions of people even, reading this one day. And he's like, I'm going to prepare this world, my children, the people of Yah, for this world. And this is what I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them to watch out. Not everything is real. Stay away from the evil. If you see something evil, you need to run away from it. You need to get away from the evil.
Right.
You don't want to be partaker of it.
A wise man will stay away from sin. Because you see sin, you won't want to take part in that sin because you will be judged. You will have to account for that. And you don't want to account for that sin. But when you see someone else sinning, you should definitely try to stop them. Do what you can. And once they say no and you cannot stop them from that sin, then you must do what you can. Dust your feet off and walk away.
Verse 17. He that is soon angry deals foolishly. A man of wicked devices is hated.
So I gotta say here, I get angry. I have a very short temper. And I get very angry real quick, and I can make very foolish decisions in what I do when I get very angry. And that's anyone who gets angry. You know, if you're in a blind rage, you say things you shouldn't say. You'll do things you shouldn't do, and it's just something you do, and you wouldn't do it as your normal head, as cool headed. But when you get angry and all hot headed, then you will just act foolishly. You'll do evil things. And Solomon says that the person will do that, and that's not wise.
Anger blinds people. Anger blinds a lot of things. It blinds clear judgment. And if it's something that should just be overlooked, that you should hold your peace on, but instead you were angry, so you destroyed it, you could ruin someone's life or even your own life through that moment of anger.
Verse 18. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge.
So it says the simple inherit folly. That's what they will inherit. But someone who is prudent, someone who is learning, they will be crowned with knowledge. They will be crowned with learning, right? They'll learn these things, and they will have knowledge.
Verse 19. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous.
Alright, that is another promise to Yahuwah. The evil, the people that have oppressed the good in this world, will bow down to the good. They will humble themselves from their evil ways. They will bow down to us, and that's a promise Yah has given to us.
Verse 20. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich has many friends.
This has a very deep meaning. This is even in today's society, everyone passes up the poor people. Everyone hates the poor people, and maybe not you who are listening in general, but most of the world pass a blind eye. They don't like the poor. You see a lot of people who have a lot of followers, who have a lot of people that will run to them if they are rich.
They have earthly riches.
Because they have something that most people don't, is money. They have riches. They have something that they can give them, and people are only in for their own greed, and that is something Yahuwah wants to keep us away from. He says you should be in it to save your soul. You should be in it to live according to my ways. You should try to be as righteous as you can be, and money blinds as well. Money is the root of all evil.
Right, and being a friend isn't being a friend to someone who can give you something. It's being a friend just to be their friend, right? It's to help them out. It doesn't matter if they can't give you anything. It's there to help them. It's there to be with them. It's there to just be a friend.
A friend is being able to be there for someone when they would never be able to repay that. That is what friendship is to truly be able to be there and comfort someone, not someone who is, well, you got money, so I'll help you when you need it. And that's and expect money in return, expect something in return because they have the riches.
Verse 21. He that despises his neighbor's sins, but he that has mercy on the poor, happy is he.
And this continues on from the last verse. If you despise your neighbor, if you hate someone, if you hate the poor, if you hate the neighbor, you are sinning because we were told to love our neighbor as ourselves. That was one of the commands, and Yahusha himself said that was one of the greatest commands, one of the second of the greatest commands, and that's what the Torah hangs upon: is love Yahuwah with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And number 2 was to love your neighbors yourself, and the Torah hangs from the rest of these, and that's because you wouldn't be doing the evil you're doing if you love Yahuwah with your heart, mind, and soul, or if you love your neighbor, and that is what the Torah is. And he says, if you hate your neighbor, you are sinning. You are putting your own soul in danger. But if you show favor to the poor, if you are kind to the poor, you are blessed. And that's why you should never pass up a poor person. If you have the ability to help a poor person, whether it is food or it is doing something kind to them, even spending time just giving them the word, just telling them they are loved, letting them know that Yahuwah has plans for them, and walking away after giving them a Bible verse or telling something. If you are kind to the poor, you are blessed, and that is absolutely true. Yahuwah loves those who are kind to the poor, the fatherless, the widow, and that's why we're supposed to leave our corn stalks. That's why you're supposed to leave your grain, the corners of it, uncut, so that the people that are poor, that have no father, that are widowed, can eat from it, so that you can provide for them as well. And that was another form of how Yahuwah would bless people, is if you did that, you would get more increase during the years.
Right, and remember, your neighbor isn't just the guy sitting next door. It's not the other person on the same block or same street, in the same vicinity. It's everybody. Everybody's your neighbor. It doesn't matter if you're at the store, if you're working, if you're at a school, wherever you're at. A neighbor is everybody. Your neighbor, you need to treat everyone as yourself. He wants you to love everybody equally.
Verse 22. Do they not err that devise evil? But mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good. The NIV says, do not those who plot evil go astray? But those who plan what is good find love and faithfulness.
Yeah, the people who do evil will fall astray. They get punished. They will end up getting themselves hurt by their evil that they do. But the righteous don't have that problems. They will be doing good. They will run away from sin, and they will plan good. They will be planning to help people and not destroy them. They will be planning to build a family and not hurt families.
Verse 23. In all labor there's profit, but the talk of the lips tends only to penury.
Yeah, if you are only talking, if you do not work, if you are only running your mouth is not going to provide for you. Working in your hands is going to provide food for you. It's going to put food on your table. And that's also what Shlomo knew. He's like, children, you are going to have to work for a living. You are going to have to work for your food. And if you can hear this cheeping in the back, we have this new baby chicken. So if you can hear him, we're sorry about that. He's just kind of in the room here. We raise them up in these little boxes behind us so that they can live, because right now we are in the rainy season, and the rain would kill them outside. They are not strong enough yet to brave those kind of conditions, so they are in here. So if you hear that, we apologize, but that's our little chicken.
And I'm going to go back to that verse quick. So running, we have this little saying here, because we will be working and we'll stop and talk. And we won't even realize we stopped and talked and we're not working anymore. The little saying says, run your hands and not your lips, because if you're running your lips, you're not getting work done, and it's not progressing your life, your family. It's not helping if you're just talking and not actually working.
Verse 24. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly.
And now, that probably wouldn't be earthly riches, because the wise know that riches on this earth don't last. But the riches in the Shamayim will last. So that is our crown. It's the wise will be our riches in the Shamayim. That will be what we have, because on this earth nothing lasts forever, but the riches in the Shamayim will.
Verse 25. A true witness delivers souls, but a deceitful witness speaks lies.
Again, that is pretty self-explanatory. Someone who is truthful is not going to lie, and someone that is just a liar is going to say evil things. He's going to betray the people to save his own skin. He is going to do it for the sake of lying.
Right, and if you want to be a true witness, you should be teaching the word. You should be witnessing the Gospels, witnessing in the Torah, and you'll be a true witness, and you will be saving souls. So that's what you want to be doing, is saving souls. You don't want to be condemning them. You want to be saving them and bringing them into the Torah, and that truly helps them.
Verse 26. In the fear of Yahuwah is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge.
So the reverence of Yahuwah, and now the reverence of Yahuwah, they respect of Yahuwah. It's an obedience to Yahuwah. And the reverence of Yahuwah is the Torah, is to follow the Torah. And we have a refuge. We have a standing ground. We have a place to stand. We have a base to stand on. Our house will not fall over when the winds and the rain and the hurricanes come. It will stand firm in Yahuwah. It will not come down.
Verse 27. The fear of Yahuwah is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death.
So if you are in the Torah, there is life, and that is a promise. And that's something people do not understand, is that if you are living against the Torah, you are putting yourself in the path of death. You are putting yourself in the path of death. And the Torah is for all times. It was not done away with. Yahushua did not die just so the Torah could be abolished.
Verse 28. In the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince.
So it says when you're a king and you're ruling, your honor is in your kingdom. How many people you have, right? How many people are in your nation or your country?
And yeah, there's people that would pay tribute. There's people that would go out to the army. And nowadays we don't have like a kingdom where we have a bunch of people. We have countries with rulers and things like that. But where there's a lot of people, kings would love that. That's what he's saying. He said he was telling his children that where there's a lot of people, that's where the love is. That's where it all is the people. The people are what's important.
Verse 29. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of the ruach exalts folly. And ruach means spirit.
So just like before when we talked about having a short temper will blind your judgment, it will have problems. That's exactly what we said before. That is, he who is patient is wise, is righteous, and he who is short-tempered, who will pop off quickly, will make the mistakes. They will say evil things.
Verse 30. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones.
If you envy something and it eats at you, you're going to think about this thing until you basically commit that sin. It is going to eat at you until you get what you want. That's why we're told not to envy. That's why we're told not to covet our neighbor's things, or his wife, his sheep, his donkey, his lawnmower, right? We're not supposed to covet our neighbor's things. We're not supposed to envy over it, or it is going to cause problems in our spirit and cause us to sin. It's like when Yahushua said, if you lust after a woman with your eyes, you have already committed adultery in your heart, because what's stopping you from committing adultery?
Verse 31. He that oppresses the poor reproaches his maker, but he that honors him has mercy on the poor.
So if you're hurting the poor, you are attacking Yahuwah. You reproach Yahuwah. And so you want to be helping the poor because Yahuwah will have mercy on you.
And when they repeat something over and over, and this is the third time he's repeated things about the poor, he's saying it is of utmost importance that you take care of the poor. It doesn't matter if you are have a places to go. You can take time to see the poor. You can come back to these people and you can tell them that this is important. And Yahushua talked about it. You came and saw me when I was in prison, when I was poor, when I was sick, and you took care of me. He talked about this, and he's like, and it is going to be blessings, and I will take care of you. And that is true. Yahuwah is going to take care of those who take care of the poor. Yahuwah finds delight in the poor.
Verse 32. When calamity comes, the wicked are brought down, but even in death the righteous seek refuge in Elohim.
So the righteous seek refuge in Elohim. That is like we had said before. When we have the Torah, when bad things happen, we're going to look to Yahuwah, and Yahuwah will always deliver his people out of tribulation. It doesn't mean we're not going to go through a few things, a few bumps in the road, but he is going to deliver us when the time is right, when it is there.
Verse 33. Wisdom rests in the heart of him that has understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known.
So wisdom rests in the heart of him who has understanding. So person that has something that has important information on someone that brought a problem up to you, something that needs to be kept quiet, it will rest in your heart. You will be wise enough to keep that between him and you, that you can help this person. But instead with fools, it's going to become known. It's going to become a rumor. It's going to become a slander, and it might ruin this person's life and his soul. And it might ruin your soul from gossiping, from letting the evil speak into this person. Lashon hara.
Verse 34. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people.
Yeah, righteousness exalts a nation. When there's righteousness, it will bring a place up. Like when Yasharel was flourishing, because there was Ezekiel or Hezekiah? The king Hezekiah. Hezekiah, when he became righteous, when he walked perfectly according to Yah's ways, the place was blessed. There was nothing greater than Yasharel at that time, when he broke down the pillars that his forefathers had built up. And he was blessed.
I'm not talking about pillars of a house. We're talking about Elohim, God.
They had pillars, and they'd go up to these pillars and they'd worship on them.
Verse 35. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causes shame.
Yeah, when there's someone that is serving, that is in a king, or when you have a worker, when you have someone that is wise, that is a good worker, you're going to be happy with him. But when you have someone that is foolish, that causes problems, you're going to be angry. You're going to be shameful of this person, and that is why you should absolutely be. And this could relate to you and Yah. If you are a good servant, Yahuwah is going to be happy with you. But if you are causing shame, if you know you're supposed to be in the Torah, you're supposed to be walking in that path, you are going to cause shame, and it is going to come back onto you.
Right, and we could be a righteous servant, a wise servant to our Yahuwah. That's what we can do. He can find happiness in us, and he will favor us because we can be wise servants. And his servants are those who are teaching. We can be the messengers, the servants to his word.
All right. That was the end of this chapter. Sorry we couldn't do it live. The internet is a little rough, as we said before. We'll try and get this uploaded tonight so that we can respond to you guys. We will be premiering it. And we also have a Telegram group. We also have a... Thanks, guys, for reminding me of that. He says we have a Telegram group, and that if you guys have any prayers, let us know. If you guys have any prayer requests, we really delight in your prayer requests. We love when you guys send in prayer requests. If you guys have something that is specific, if you could mention it to help us guide us on what we need to pray for, we would appreciate that as well. But if not, if you guys just put out a name, we'll appreciate that.
And very soon we are going to try to do these in Spanish. Hermanos y hermanas, muy pronto ya vamos a empezar haciendo en español. Y vamos a hacer, muy pronto ya vamos a explicar todo en español y vamos a decir jóvenes para Yahuwah.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Youth for Yah in Espanol, in Spanish. So we will be working on that within the next few weeks, and we will be seeing you guys soon. See you next Thursday. Hope your weekend is blessed, and Shabbat Shalom for those who keep the Shabbat on Saturday. Tomorrow will be preparation day, so you guys should be preparing for this, getting ready to dwell with Yahuwah. All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.